So my name is Vijay Gidoomal. I'm the CEO of Car in General. So when I joined the company as CEO I was actually MD at the time in 1996, we took the decision to exit all the existing businesses. So we were in retreading, we were in gumboot manufacturing, we were in tire molding, all sorts of things. We manufactured automotive parts. So between 1996 and 2000, we sold all those businesses and really ended up with very few businesses actually. Because Kenya liberalized, so we then became subject to Chinese competition. We were manufacturing in very inefficient manufacturing plants, very old manufacturing plants. There was no way we could compete. We saw that, and we could see that in the results of the business. Volumes were dropping, competition was penetrating, and as a result of that, we didn't really have an option. More than foresight, it was more than not having an option. But what was very fortunate was we were able to find some really great businesses to move into. So in 2003, we found the two-wheeler business and decided to shift the boda business. So we pioneered the boda industry. 2004, we looked at the three-wheelers, tried to pioneer the three-wheeler industry. And then 2006, we aligned with Cummins. We expected growth in the economies. We thought if the economy grows, generator sales must also grow. And then in 2014, we went into other equipment, Doosan, Toyota, Kubota, which you see behind me. 2017, we went into financial services relating to our products. And we also signed a joint venture with Cummins in 2017. And we've also got a real estate base. We've just opened a mall on Nairobi Mega on Uhuru Highway, and we're looking to expand in that space a little bit. So I think we've got good diversity right now. And hopefully that diversity will lead to sustainability and over a period of time. But we do need help from the economies. The economies need to keep growing. If they don't keep growing, we have a problem. If they do keep growing, we have a big opportunity ahead of us. I think our competitive edges, we always try to align with the top players globally, right? And now that makes a big difference because they're always innovating, spending money on R&D. So if you look at TVS, you look at Piaggio, you look at Toyota, you look at Cummins, they're leaders in their global industries. So we always felt that if we aligned with them, we would always have a very good proposition to tell the market. And as a result, I think that strategy has been quite successful. And that's why we feel that we're well positioned. We've got the right partners behind us. We're an employer that tries to do right by our employees as well. Our employees must imbibe our core values. Then that's the number one thing. If someone's going to work for C&G, they must imbibe those core values. And then what we offer is the opportunity to grow. We have a philosophy that basically promotes from within, creates opportunities from within, mentors and trains people from within. So if you look at since say 20 years, how many external recruits have we done for a senior management position? And I think you'll be able to count them on one hand. We try and promote all our employees from within to take senior management positions. That is a mantra within this business. And we've been very successful doing that. And I'm very proud of that actually, because at the end of the day, we've taken employees from a certain level to the top level. And that's been a really great sense of achievement. We're not a family business per se, we're a public business. We're listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. And I think when we look at the management in the past, we've had slip-ups for sure. We've nearly fallen over several times. But we've always been rescued by good managers, and now increasingly we're being made more sustainable by good governance. And that means having a really proactive board, so having a board that starts this process and ensuring governance throughout our organization is a very big priority. Making sure that we're properly governed in terms of strategy, in terms of risk and compliance, in terms of culture, in terms of succession. Those are key things. If we slip up on any of those, we're going to fall over. So investing more and more in good governance of our entire business, starting right from the top, from the chairman downwards, is a very critical plank of sustainability for us. So going forward, we feel quite confident that we should create that culture. We will create that culture that will make us sustainable for another 85 years. Number one is we have to be number one or two in all our markets, right? That's a very critical thing. In order to do that, we must make customers smile. We must have an organization that operates on integrity, and we must have an organization that really lives our values, right? So if you're really, and we can do that in any business. We don't have to be in motorbikes, we don't have to be in tractors. But so long as we can fill that core criteria, we think we'll be successful, which is why our business will change in line with that core criteria. I think there are great opportunities in the business. I think the ones who adapt quickly will do really well. So I think right now it's about being nimble and adapting and embracing. I think there's an ability to embrace this new technology. I mean, today we're holding a course, we have 35 people on it, a mentorship course, and they're all over the country. That's what new technology allows you to do. So what I see with this is it provides an amazing opportunity to keep improving ourselves. We can communicate better, we can educate ourselves better, we can stay informed better, and those kind of things are going to be really monumental in driving us going forward. So right now we sort of do a reasonable amount in our societies with eye clinics, water pans, the training, a lot of training. We've trained over thousands of mechanics, in order that they can sort of participate in our overall business. But there's no question we have to increase the strength of our social engine, right? We need to be ingrained in our societies much more. You can only do that with profits. We have to make money in order to do that. But I think that's going to be the next big focus for us. How do we strengthen this engine so that we really are part of the lives of everyone who operates within our ecosystem? And it's a big ecosystem. It's one that looks after millions of people. And I think that's going to be really what is going to be the big challenge for us this year. How do we get, again, clearer strategy? How do we have a clearer strategy to do that? So that we're in that life every day, in one way or another, and in a good way. Well, the whole thing is a challenge, really. You have to keep doing these things really well. That means you have to have a process. You have to have a discipline. Can you have that? How many organizations genuinely have that? And from a macro perspective, the challenge has been that we're not growing fast enough. When I look at these products, look at our Toyota forklifts. The total market size for Toyota forklifts in Kenya is 220 units. In South Africa, the total market size for forklifts is 9,000 units. If you compare that to America, it's 38,000 units a year. That's what macroeconomics do for you. We have to have big enough markets beyond the mass market. And that's why what I was talking about earlier, focusing as a country on our comparative advantages, is really critical. So one is the internal challenge. Can we be as disciplined as we need to be? But ultimately, the external challenge is can we create a market that's buoyant enough to support not just our business, but every business? And if every business is supported, it's a symbiotic relationship. Every business does well. So we have to increase the GDP per capita. The US is $30,000. Kenya's over $1,000. We need to get to $8,000, $10,000 as a short-term goal. And if we can achieve that, everyone's going to be prosperous. It'll be shared prosperity. I'd like to see us, one, dominate all our businesses, whatever they might be. Right now it's in our automotive and equipment distribution business. I'd like to see us dominate the financial services business that we operate with these businesses. Again, it's very high impact. The more we can do for our people in our ecosystem, the better we're going to be, the stronger we're going to be as an organization. I'd like to see us creating an organization that's as disciplined as I've just discussed. Then it doesn't matter where we go, which business we're in, we're going to be successful. There's some great examples in other parts of the world of businesses that just keep changing, but are able to do everything just as well. Even in Kenya, we have the same. You look at Safco, it keeps developing. You look at equity, it keeps developing. It keeps transforming itself. So it's the discipline in the process. So it's not important which business we're in. I think in the next few years, our businesses are going to be these businesses, our financial services businesses. These will go green. So it'll be part of the green revolution, right? We'll be part of the green revolution. But when I look at 30 years from now, we need to just be creating a disciplined business that's clear on strategy and can execute on strategy, and hopefully supported by a government that's promoting the macroeconomics of the country. African market. We also have a petrol version. We're now testing an electric version, and we think that is going to be the future. And again, global leadership, and global leadership has translated into local leadership. And obviously, this is a mainstay for so many people in Kenya. One, efficiency of transport. You can get to the last mile at a cost-effective price. People used to walk this last mile, cycle this last mile, but now people are taking a three-wheeler on this last mile. It's very useful for ladies. It's comfortable. You don't have to straddle a bike, and you don't have to walk, and they can carry everything with it. It's easy to carry, safe to carry, and a very safe product that has really found a niche in East Africa. It's very strong in East Africa. And so that's the diesel version. We also have the petrol versions. So this is the petrol version, which is what the RP City is. All that's different is the engine. And as I say, we're now launching and testing the electric version, which we think over a period of time will transform this industry. So we carry on moving on. We now move into our motorcycle showroom. Hi, how are you? And our motorcycle showroom is really in partnership with our partner TVS, and this really caters to one, the border trade, and two, the corporate trade. So all the deliveries are done for the corporate trade. The big market in Kenya obviously is the border trade, which currently is one of Kenya's biggest industries. It employs millions of people. We think it employs in excess of 4 million people, and it generates a huge amount per day, and we think it generates about 700 to 800 million shillings a day in terms of revenue. So very significant. We have And as I say, I mean, we're supported by a really great team of employees. We can see everyone working, we can see everyone at the office. And one thing I will say is that I think the quality of our people is something that always impresses me. And one thing that's happened during this COVID is I've seen really young people stepping up to the plate, doing a tremendous job, and doing it independently, doing it genuinely independently. And I think that has been the biggest learning I've had during this COVID period. How young, dedicated, intelligent Kenyan people, Ugandan people, Tanzanian people can really step up to the plate with the right environment, run their own show, operate a really successful business in a very difficult time, remain very positive, and remain very positive in delivering to our customers. And it's been the big learning for me, more than anything else actually. That's been the really big learning for me during this pandemic. That people really have capability to step up, and that if we give them the opportunity, they will step up. So I think it's a question of getting ourselves out of the way so that people are given that opportunity. And I think that's the challenge for leadership everywhere. How do you create the next line of leadership? How do you create succession? How do you create an equal opportunity for everyone, irrespective of gender, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of anything? Because I've seen that we're all the same and we're all capable of delivering. And as we move forward, we just need to allow more and more people to have that opportunity.